What's up, people? We are back with more of Eden. So in the previous video it was revealed that we are guarding Sion, the goddess of the universe. I don't even freaking know what to call it, but we're guarding her, and it was revealed that she, as well as her maid, personal maid, Alicia, are both felixes, which are like superhumans that are extremely smart, much smarter than us normal human beings. They age very slowly as well, so they have longevity. So for example, they could live up to being 500 years old while looking like a toddler. So yeah, that's basically what we learned in the last video. So let's continue. Work ended uneventfully, and Levi took me to the parlor room after dinner. Here, everyone was sitting in their little cliques, cheerfully chatting away. There were far less people than in the dining hall. It seemed only those ranked above non-commissioned officers were permitted here. It's like the VIP club. Long story short, it was a room for officers, but because there were so few assigned to the facility, and this room was too spacious for them to use alone, Major Inaba decided that he would permit even non-commissioned officers. It's such a surprise that Miss Alicia, or I'm pretty sure it's Alicia, right? I don't know why I'm starting to doubt all of a sudden. It's because Alicia, where's like Alice, Alicia, yeah, you pronounce the C like an S sometimes too, so I'm pretty sure it's Alicia. We're gonna call it Alicia. We rolled with that before, we're gonna continue to roll with that, so Miss Alicia is a Felix too. Levi and I got ourselves some coffee and sat down to relax. I'm a bit curious why a Felix is acting as a maid, but she didn't really look like she wanted to talk about that. Maybe Sion was like, yeah, you're my bitch now, you're gonna do whatever I tell you to because I'm the better Felix. Well, everyone has their circumstances. Circumstances, huh? I could only think of the maid uniform as some kind of joke, but maybe there was some deeper reason behind it. It was a puzzle. And I'll solve that puzzle. It's cute, so who cares? She's a rarity in this place filled with filthy men. Excuse me? I'm not filthy. I showered this morning. It's not exactly a problem to have her around either. Exactly. Besides, as long as she's here, it'll help suppress the boredom. That might be the bigger problem. Problem? The boredom. Saying it won't help. She shrugged her shoulders and grinned. That's just the nature of guard work. We have a real problem if we were shooting up a storm. Nobody would attack a place like this. It's right in the center of the Unified Army's surveillance zone, and it's also a solitary island, not even printed on maps. If anyone did happen to learn this place existed, at a glance, it would just look like a Western-styled house, and then only mystery authors and the like would take any interest. A Western-style mansion built silently on a deserted island, a mysterious young lady who doesn't show herself, a maid who tends to her, and a butler who seems to be scheming something. Would that butler be Major Inaba? And the sullen young man who goes astray in the building and runs into a case related to its tragic past. Better story than Twilight. By sullen young man, you mean me? How impolite. What would be your part? I would just take the role of the mysterious beauty who seizes the key to the case. What do you mean you'll just take the role of the beauty? There's a limit to how egotistical you can be. I took the coffee cup in my hand and took a light sip. It had the unmistakable taste of cheap instant coffee. Ugh. Seriously speaking, I hope nobody here has been misassigned. It'll be fine. The Major thinks hard about the stationing of his subordinates. He's quite capable, despite everything. Isn't he a bit overdue for a promotion? I realize this is an important institution, but not being in headquarters means he strayed from his fast track. This is just a rumor. They say he's refusing promotions. I don't know the reason though. Refusing them? You can refuse a promotion? Why didn't you do that earlier, Ryou? His father was also in the military, a general apparently. He may have pulled some strings. He doesn't seem like someone who would rely on his parents' connections. But does he really want to stay at this rank that bad? I just don't get him. It might be because this place is surprisingly comfortable. If he got promoted to Lieutenant Colonel or Colonel, right? That's Colonel. He would leave his position as commanding officer of the guards and probably go to headquarters. He'd rather be the king of the castle here than working his way up headquarters? Well, it's not like I don't understand that. The work here wasn't exhausting, and knowing how sloppy he was, it was probably just right for him. Actually, a new commanding officer might be a problem for me if we end up with some neurotic superior who's fussy about regulations, and it would be awful if that happened. If that happened, I might have to kill him. Whoa, Levi. That turned turned dark really quickly. Immediately to the extreme measure. Yeah. There are other measures that you can take, right? You can report him, you can tell him, please don't be such a hard ass. But nope, immediately just kill him. That was just a little joke. Don't go silent on me. Okay. I know what kind of girl she is. She's the one that likes dark humor. She sounded a little flustered. It didn't sound like much of a joke. Or she backpedaled. She was like, oh crap, he took it too serious, or no, she meant it in a serious way, but then because my reaction was like, holy crap, then she was like, uh-oh, can't make him be scared of me. Alright, I'll just say it's a joke. There's no way I would actually kill him. The way she said it sounds like she could still do something as long as it didn't kill him. Well, the Major seems to be doing things at his leisure, so he probably won't be promoted for a while. There's always the possibility we'll be promoted and assigned somewhere else too. It'd be good if she didn't get court-martialed and sent away before she got that promotion. Warrant Officer Haruna, you just thought of something impolite, didn't you? No, not really. At least her intuition's sharp. It'd be best to remember that. Or I'd best. I'm done with my coffee, so I'm gonna head back to my room. Yeah, me too. Alright, good night, kiss kiss. I nodded and was about to walk away when she grabbed my shoulder. You know... She drew her face closer while lightly gripping my shoulder. She looked kind of hesitant. What is it? Don't you think it's a little weird? You mean Sion? Yeah. The sweet smell of her breath reached my cheeks. I had heard she almost never comes out, but it's strange. She won't even show her face to her guards. Doesn't that just mean she's shy? I'm not joking around. Also, I heard something. What? The truth is, Sion... Oh, this is a joke. Or not. Really? They're just gonna cut it off there? They're gonna... What? I'm like so interested in what she said. Like, that could be the perfect setup for her as a joke. But we don't even know what happened. Like, it's probably something serious now, though. It looked like my uneventful day was coming to an end. Being Shion's guard seemed to be an easy job, a tedious job, and also an inconsequential job. My partner wasn't hard to get along with, save for her boisterous side. Not that she was much of an annoyance. In addition, an elusive maid and a genius scientist who wouldn't show herself. Not only could you call that strange, but what Levi said lingered on my mind. It couldn't be helped that a mere guard such as myself would take an interest. There were no good points to this assignment. Oh, but few bad points, I suppose. Well, it was certainly a job unlike any I had experienced before, and it looked like I would make good practice for staving off boredom. What the hell, bathroom? Missions like this might be good for me once in a while. Hell yeah. Practice to stave off boredom. I kinda need that too. A few days had passed since I arrived at research facility number 703. The work was really boring. I couldn't help but think that kicking around newbies at the training academy might have been a bit more amusing. Perhaps I should request a transfer to keep my abilities sharp and, most importantly, not be bored to no end. With that on my mind, my time at this facility dragged on. Somewhere, deep inside me, I probably understood. These boring, tranquil days would not continue forever. Work ended like always, and I returned to my room after eating dinner in the dining hall, which was packed terrifyingly so, just as Levi had said. I unfastened the buttons on my uniform and flung my heavy holster onto the bed. The leather holster packed a 9mm semi-automatic handgun and made a nice thud as it landed. At the same time, there was a knock at my door. Who is it? It's Inaba. May I come in? Please do. He swaggered in, carrying a bulging plastic bag in his right hand. Stop. As you were, he commanded me as I tried to salute. There's nobody around. Given the history of our relationship, don't worry about the formalities. What sort of relationship would that be? I clicked my tongue loud enough for him to hear. You seem grouchy, Ryou. That's not true, but if you had some business with me, I could have come to you. It was quite unusual for a superior to come all the way to a subordinate's room, even if they had business. Well, I like to think I'm quite nimble on my feet, although the inside of this research facility is really the only place I can make use of them. That sounds terribly uncomfortable. Oh, that's right. Here, at your age you can just eat and eat, and it'll never be enough, right? Make a midnight snack of it or something. He grinned and handed me the plastic bag. I took it and peeked inside to find juice, pastries, and a pile of different kinds of dried provisions crammed within. Thank you. Here's your bill. You intended to sell them? Oh, that's such a good move. Like, oh here, I got this for you. Right, now that I gave them to you and you received them, you still have to pay me now. You owe me. I pushed the bag towards his hand, which held a small envelope. It's a joke. You're as stiff as ever, aren't you? Well, you're the one who went out of his way to prepare props. Laughs are important, so I make a point to spare no expense. After a dry chuckle, he threw the envelope at me. I caught it somewhere around my chest. Major? Maybe it really was a bill. He silently walked up to the bed, picked up my holster, and drew the pistol. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wow. Looks like you've been using this a long time. Guns that have seen combat really are different. Mine looks good as new. It's because you're a commander. It would be a problem if the situation actually called for you to use your sidearm. Knowing my luck, I'd probably shoot an ally in the back if I did pull the trigger. Wow, Inaba. He was fixated on the gun as he said something rather disturbing. Suddenly, he ejected the magazine and pulled back on the slide to remove the round in the chamber. Major, what are you doing? You have one more, right? Take it out. It was a tone that wouldn't take no for an answer. There was no way I'd disobey. I took the small gun I had prepared on my ankle and handed it to him. He's disarming me for some reason. This one looks pretty worn as well. Are you sure you're not a little too trigger happy? I just use it as part of my job. I wasn't particularly fond of guns, and wasn't the type who took any pleasure in firing them. It won't be necessary for your current job. ... I'll need you to use your utmost discretion. I understood everything from his cool demeanor. No, I actually caught on a bit later than I should have. Oh, your expressions changed. Well, you kinda took my guns. I opened the envelope and took out a single photograph. Sergeant Callius Mikkel, member of Research Facility number 703. He's part of the Defense Squad, 3rd Platoon. From a combat engineering background, a rare German in our predominantly Japanese unit, a sharp young man with a short haircut was pictured. It was a face I had remembered seeing a number of times around the halls. We had not conversed, but I remembered he and Levi seemed acquainted with each other. There seems to be many who don't think too fondly of our resident princess, no matter how many we send away. They're just replaced with more uninvited guests. It's quite a problem. That certainly is a problem. Anyone who would recognize Sion as a predominantly renowned scientist renowned scientist, and it could be said that the colony ships would have been impossible to complete without her. But that wasn't all. As the leading figure in the Earth Evacuation project, her political influence was by no means insignificant. Forces that opposed the projects were a given, but even those within the unified government which supported the project feared her power. We could always let them roam free. It would depend on how much information about this place the infiltrators have gotten their hands on. There have been some leaks, but it's all been within expectations. In that case, how about we I'm messing up words now. Alright, in that case, how about we flush out their mastermind? No matter how many leaves and branches we trim, it'll be a makeshift solution at best. A radical cure would mean we'd have to shoulder imminent risk as well. I don't mind just pruning the bushes for now. I pity the people who get sent here. Yeah, they all die because of boredom. I completely agree. It's their own bad luck for not being capable enough. Though I was the one who suggested flushing out their mastermind, battles of intelligence weren't my specialty. Was the Major better at making these delicate decisions? Well, I don't think they'll make a move against Sion directly, so it's probably okay to leave well enough alone. It would be a problem if we didn't deal with it periodically, and then one day find a barn cat pillaging our garden. He shook his head and shot me a pointed glance. I want you to teach them what happens when they stick their hands in other people's business. Am I the snake in the grass? Your job is to guard Sion to the bitter end, warned Officer Haruna. Since you finally made it here, I figured I would put you to good use. You can think of it as part of your guard duty, and you'll be properly compensated for it on top of your salary. It'll be under the table, so it's not a bad deal. Which meant this wasn't an official assignment. I took a fleeting glance at the plastic bag he brought. It didn't seem to contain just food and drinks. There was no way the money is out of your pocket. You must have a sponsor. As long as there are those who ostracize her, there will also be people who worship her. The world is relatively well balanced, Ryou. You call something like that well balanced? So when are we doing this? The sooner the better. In other words, immediately. It can wait if you need time to prepare. You never thought work like this would come around, did you? No, it feels more like it's about time. You'd be a fool if you just had me on guard duty. Yeah, considering all his credentials, like holy crap. I turned over the photo in my hand. There were numerous notes written on the other side, like the target's room number and shifts. In the few days I'd been here, I had more or less figured out how all the platoons in the facility were arranged. This would be more than enough information. I'll go take a look. Should I also clean up afterwards? Just hide it somewhere fitting. Someone else will come to collect later. It would be more efficient to divide this job up. I love how casual they're talking about murder here, right? Because they're basically talking about just assassinating this guy, right? Unless I'm completely missing the point, but I don't think I am. Like, they're just casually like, oh, should I just leave it behind? Or, Nah, yeah, you can just hide, just put it somewhere and I'll call someone to get it, okay, yeah. Like, you could say that about anything and it would be like something as simple as a book or something. But no, this is about a dead body. That will help. The work here really is easy. I'll say it one more time. The princess doesn't like disturbances. Do not disturb the force. So I want you to quietly, peacefully put him to sleep. Oh yeah, I didn't miss the signal. Understood. It was faint, but the Major's voice was shaking ever so slightly. Was it some warped sense of pity for a subordinate, Sergeant Callius? Perhaps it was also a personal desire of his that it be taken care of in a discreet manner. It seemed soft to me, but it wasn't a problem so long as it didn't impede his ability to get things done. I picked up the empty holster and turned to the door as I fixed the buttons on my uniform. Alright, let's do this. Inaba walked through the hallway alone, late into the night. As usual, he had no escort, and of course, no orderly with him either. Inaba wasn't necessarily the type who liked to be alone, but he did admit he tended to think being alone was often more comfortable. Major, a figure suddenly materialized beside him and called to him in nearly a whisper. Oh, a lady shouldn't be walking alone this late at night. I'll walk you back to your room. Do you really think you can infiltrate an oasis of women that easily? Hey, why is Warrant Officer Haruna okay, and I'm not? How did you get wind of his welcome party in the first place? Levi made an astonished face and sighed. Apparently, the only things in this facility Inaba did not know about were state secrets and Sion's research. How did it go? Inaba made sure there was nobody else in the hallway and whispered so only Levi could hear him. Everything is taken care of on my end. There will be no problems for the cleaners. Wow, she got also basically a similar assignment that I just got. You're always quite fast. I wonder, did you catch him a little off guard? It would seem he had some training, but I wouldn't have called him unprofessional. Guess they're running out of pieces as well. Well, so long as you weren't injured. You'll cause a misunderstanding if you say that. It's natural to console a subordinate. Of course, there are many who aren't capable of such a thing. Major? You really worry about people, don't you? Actually, it seems like that's all you do. Levi whispered, all in one breath. Inaba smiled at Levi, who appeared to be baffled by her own utterance for some reason. Everyone lives their own way. Whether you live for yourself or live for others, that is your own decision. A life of earnestly protecting and tending to someone isn't bad either, though it's not that much of a glorious life. With a tiny laugh, Inaba patted her shoulder. Making you take a dangerous job where your accomplishments can't even be recognized isn't something I would consider admirable. That is true. You just have to hand down orders. I just have to follow them. I see. It had been barely a year since Levi was assigned to the facility. Inaba carefully assessed her abilities and gave her many unofficial assignments such as tonight's. She never has once failed and performed splendidly. To Inaba, she was a rare kind of subordinate. How did the other one do? No idea. I still haven't gotten the report. Was it alright to have him do a job like this all of a sudden? You've seen Haruna's record, haven't you? She cast her eyes down and was staring intently at the floor. Levi? I haven't seen his records. I know better than anybody just how capable he is. Inaba silently stared at her. Although her tone was indifferent, there was a convoluted medley of emotions behind her words. He may have been her superior, but that didn't mean he knew everything about his subordinates. If you know, then you should understand. If you know, then you should understand. Haruna can take care of this. He may have the ability, but whether or not he's trustworthy is a different story. Spies go through formal procedures and get assigned here. If word were to get out that we're purging them, I'm not so sure we can trust Officer Haruna that easily. Really? That bitch. Inaba brushed the stubble on his chin. I think you'll understand after this assignment is over. He's not the type who would go against the orders of a superior officer. We should just let him undertake these dangerous jobs. It won't be in the military's favor if he gets rusty. Besides, it's only my head on the line if he turns on us. No big deal. Levi swallowed hard and peered closely at Inaba's face. Even so, his expression did not change. Hey, Levi. Yes? Wanna know why I have so much faith in Ryou Haruna? Why? We're accomplices. From way back. Inaba grinned, a bit surprised at how gloomy his voice sounded. The uniformed girl did not hide her bewilderment as she gazed at him. Ooh, a flashback. Perfect time to end the video here. I want to thank you all so very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video. Like, things are getting very interesting. Like, it's still so mysterious, but more gets revealed with every single video, of course. So, yeah, we're apparently purging spies. So, the purging shall continue in the next video. Peace!